So I come out here on this Monday afternoon to do a video on the old diorama, recently modified. And I notice on the pile of tires a dead creature of some kind. I'm pretty sure that's a spider. I don't know what kind, but... So I'm wondering, was it the toxicity of, because this portion of the layout is recently redone. There's a lot of glue that had to dry, some paint, some drywall, spackle, or was it just the bug spray? You never know what you're going to find in Arizona. So, creatures living on my layout. That's not cool. I'm going to have to start charging these things rent. Anyways, I have to get rid of that guy. This right here, I want to show you guys. First of all, I've been sick. Okay, I got really sick on Friday. I've pretty much been in bed all weekend. Today's like the first day where I'm starting to feel normal again. Haven't eaten. I've eaten probably half a day's worth of food since Thursday night. So it's been a good diet. I've had a lot of Gatorade, but haven't done anything but sleep and venture down the rabbit hole of YouTube. But anyways, I'm feeling better. I took today off. I'll be back at work tomorrow. But since my last video, I have received a few new acquisitions. So this is not one of them, but I wanted to show you guys this, which is a Konami Toyota Soarer. That spider is so nasty. I really wonder what kind of spider it is. There's one kind of spider that will freak me out. And that is the brown recluse. It's the only spider that really scares me. So this is by Konami. Just a really nice stock model Toyota Soarer. This is by Aoshima. This is the Shakotan Boogie Toyota Soarer. I think that is Japanese anima, which would give this almost a parallel to the Initial D or Mechanical Doctor. So if you look at the two cars now, they could be different years, they could be slightly different models, but the Aoshima is a bigger, it's wider, it's not quite as long, but the proportions just look a little bit off on the Aoshima. All of the details are really nice though. I mean, I really like the car. It has a little bit of fog on the windshield, which is why I paid such a discounted price for it. But I like the car. It's a Toyota, worth being in my Toyota collection. Rubber tires with tread, lens, headlights, and taillights. Pretty much anything that you're used to seeing from Aoshima you get with that car. Except this one is a better rolling car than most Aoshimas. So that's the first one. I guess I'll do this one next. If you follow me on IG, you've already seen this. I apologize for the shaky camera, guys. This is a 2004 Ford GT. And this car is made by Autoart. It's the nicest example of this second gen Ford GT that you'll find in 1:64 scale. I'm not sure if this would technically qualify as a second gen, because really the first gen was a GT40, and this one is not. This is just a Ford GT. But I think it still adheres to the same principle of only being 40, was it 40 inches off the ground to the highest point. I think that's what it was. So Autoart, it's a really nice car. Rubber tires, lens headlights, and taillights. It's very, very scale accurate. Proportions and stance are spot on. Now, here's the Auto World GT40. This was the first car that Ford took to Le Mans, and they won Le Mans. I think it was 66. And what happened was they won Le Mans, and then, what, almost 40 years later, they put this car out, which they did not race at Le Mans. By the way, this car new was in the 150 to 180 price point. It was available 04 to 06. I think there were just over 4,000 of these made. If you were smart enough to buy one of these, you did well. I think these cars are worth upwards of $1 million plus at this point. Anyways, what is cool about this is that in 2016, they came out with the new Ford GT. So technically, I think this would be a first-gen Ford GT. This would be a second-gen, because this is a GT40. But they all are kind of the same lineage. This was the first car Ford took to Le Mans. They won that race. 50 years later, they go back. They didn't go back to Le Mans again until 2016, I think, which was 50 years following their win with this car. So they go back with this car, and they win it again, this time with a V6. So these two cars have a lot of prestige attached to them. This one didn't race at Le Mans, so who knows if it would have won or not. But unlike this car, this one is just a tick under $500,000 new. So it's going to be in the 480 to 490 price point, whereas this one was under 200,000. This was also 15 years ago. But if you want a good return on your investment, I think this car is going to do better than that car did, just because this one actually won Le Mans. Now, I don't know much about these cars, but what I'll tell you guys, Jay Leno's Garage on YouTube, he owns a 2005. He also bought the new Ford GT when it came out. His two Ford GTs have matching serial numbers. And he has a lot of information about the Ford GT. So, but I think these are the nicest three examples in 1:64 scale. three nicest representations of the Ford GT. For sure, the Auto World is definitely the nicest GT40. And for sure, Autoart is the nicest Ford GT. Now, I know Matchbox did this one, but it's pretty unimpressive to me. A lot of brands, a lot of companies have done this one, and I think done it well. I think the Hot Wheels is pretty nice. Who else did this one? Was it Isto? There's been a few, but to me the green light is hands down the nicest. It has the open air channels. This was a pretty sophisticated casting to do. Has new wheel toolings. And you know where Greenlight struggles with a lot of things, I think they got a lot of things right on this one. The stance is not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. It has lensed headlights and taillights. It's just a nicely done car. And the wheel toolings are some of the best that Greenlight has ever done. The car won the Le Mans race, which is a 24-hour, kind of more of an endurance race, I think. I'm not the foremost expert on the race. Direct any questions to Lamar Fashion. Shout out to Lamar. I haven't talked to Lamar in a long time. But he's far more knowledgeable about the race and kind of the lineage of the race than I am. But what I can tell you about this car winning that race with a V6, it has so much more to do with the chassis of the car and the aerodynamics and the airflow than it does the powertrain. Like, you can notice the taillights here, how they're barreled. I don't know if you can catch it from that angle, but let's see how they're barreled. I mean, there's basically, it's just like a little tube, and their airflow comes out right from the center of the taillights. So a lot of engineering that went into this car. The car was developed in complete secrecy. Nobody knew this car was coming out. And just, I don't remember if it was 2015 or 2016, the auto show in Detroit, all the hype was the NSX. The new NSX was coming out. And this thing basically stole the show, because everybody knew the NSX was coming out. But, you know, there was anticipation and all that kind of stuff. But this car was the car, you know, because I think the price point, I'm not sure on the NSX what the price point is on that, but I think it's pretty close to what it is on this. But I don't know. Interesting stuff. But I should be careful what I say, because you guys feel free to fact check me. I don't claim to make any factual statements regarding the cars. Now, I'll stand by what I say as far as the diecast goes, because I'm pretty confident I know what I'm talking about with the diecast. But with the actual cars and races and manufacturing and that kind of stuff, you know, if I'm saying something, it's because I heard it somewhere. And usually it's online, and, you know, sometimes I'll misconstrue it or whatever. So don't take what I say as Bible. You know, if you want to, you can question it, you can fact check it, call me out on it, correct me on it, that's fine. For me, it's more about the diecast anyways. Another car that I got, this one just showed up today. Don't know if I'd recommend going to this buyer on eBay. The car was super cheap. At a whopping $8 shipped from overseas. So right there you think, well, something's sketchy with that. And it showed up today in a little envelope, and there was a little bubble mailer, like a little bubble wrap. But I mean, it was like barely qualified for bubble wrap, wrapping the car. But with all that being said, it showed up in good condition. I think it's a CMS. It didn't ship with the box or with the bubble or anything. It just shipped as you see it. The seller has quite a few more of these, so that's why I thought maybe he just had a surplus or whatever. But the antenna was not sent with the car, which is okay. I'm for $8, I'm happy with this. You know, this works. It's a highly detailed car. A super highly detailed car, and I am pretty sure it is CM's diecast. No markings on the base, but it does have rubber tires. It does have all kinds of detail. All kinds of racing graphics. Sponsor badges. Toyota Racing Deco. Transparent lens taillights. It is what I think is a very cool car. So, but then again, I'm biased. I'm a huge fan of Toyotas. I did own, I don't know if it was this car or a car, I don't think it was this one, but it might have been. But if it wasn't this one, it was one that was real similar to this that I had back in the day, and I traded it. It's a nice roller. So there are some little gray spots on this that look like flea bites, but they're not flea bites. They're little decals is what they are. Like up on the hood you have what should be your hood pins. And then back here, I don't know what those are, but they're symmetrical, so they're definitely not flaws. That circle looks like it could be a gas cap, maybe. Actually, that wouldn't make sense since the gas cap is right there. But I don't know. I don't know what they are, but they're not flea bites. There's really no paint flaws. There's a little smudge on the driver window. That's about the only imperfection I saw with the car. Which, taking the day off, I had to go get my emissions done to get my plates. So I grabbed the mail on my way out. And while I was waiting in the 110-degree heat for my car to get its emissions tested, I opened up this little envelope, gave the car a good looking at, and I like it. Being a Toyota fan, I think it's a pretty rad little ride. Here is a Konami, essentially the same generation of Celica. This is going to be your stock silica. I'm not sure which one I would say is of better quality. I think that the CMS feels a little bit heavier. Personally, I like to collect civilian deco, but I do like to mix in a race car every now and then. I'm not one of those guys that excessively collects race cars, but you know, every now and then I'll pick up a racing deco, especially with Toyota. Toyota Silica. Look at those taillights. Very, very nice. This one here is worth getting. You can get this right now on eBay for $11.99 shipped. It's an Autoart. Very, very high quality. The Autoart Bugatti Veyrons are $80 to $100 right now. So with Autoart not making 1:64 scale diecast, I don't see anything happening with these, anything except going up in value. And that's not just the Ford GT. I think that's any 1:64 scale Autoart casting. So now the Shakotan Boogie, I know that's going to be more of a either it's your thing or it's not. Either you like it or you don't. The polka dots wouldn't be my first choice, but I got a really good price on this one. So anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I have to say I do think I do feel like it's necessary to cut back, not do so many videos, but I do have some Kyosho content that I'd like to show, so that'll be coming up later this week. And another thing too, made the decision I'm going to trim some of the green light fat that I have. So part of my green light collection will be sold via eBay. So keep your eyes peeled on eBay for some loose green light lots. And other than that, happy hunting, happy die casting, and I will holler at the next video.